Okay, who
We have 20 boys.
I'm flying.
That thought, get in here.
Hold on, open my vault from last week. Like, literally 2 weeks ago. Get the fuck out of here.
This fucking sucks.
I don't know.
Nothing
That was
good.
kind of sus.
All right,
Kinda sus, man.
what happened to Grim?
Just an
Grim
adequate plus.
He's offline.
He's fucking dead, man.
We can start pulling though. At least get the trash
I'm
out.
here.
there.
I just need to relog my
Alright, cool.
my client.
I
Bro,
want
I
to
just wanted to freak out and only be down 3 healers.
feel free to pull, but a lot of us are probably gonna die with just one healer.
No, we're not.
But
Just
Shaman's
very
a god,
adequate
so...
angry.
I don't know. I think our healers are pretty adequate.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All of you fucking suck a dick. Jesus Christ.
I mean, hey, man.
That'd be a little hard to do.
I told you guys that in confidence, not for you guys to fucking shit on me.
In inadequate
I'll fucking-
confidence.
That wasn't shitting
Hey,
on
don't
you.
do that.
It's fine,
That
okay?
was
Adequate
not
is good,
This
dude,
how
okay?
tonight's gonna
Fine.
fucking go. Are you serious?
It was-
Oh no, dude, tonight's not the fucking night.
Hey, it's an adequate night, dude. Fuck.
This is what mythic progress sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little
Hey,
too
it's
high
an
in this
adequate
kitchen
night.
for him.
I mean, honestly,
Okay.
given me and
Was
with
there
my
a-
previous guilds, this is exactly what mythic progress sounds like.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
Took me all of like 10 minutes to set up my computer. There's still tables all over the desk, but we're up and running. It's all good.
In inadequate
Still
amount of time.
trash.
Can't get a portal so I can summon the
We're
healers.
really gonna have to ban list the whole word.
Bro, this is
Oh, I'm in
great.
shadow.
Can
I
you
should
go ahead and
change
change
that.
your name, Tirade, to adequate?
Stop, guys.
Stop. All right, now that's too far.
That's a
I just
little
called
too
myself
much.
Adequate freeze.
Adequate freeze, shit.
No.
Oh, and I'm changing my pro ID to pro.
I mean, hey, just change it from shadow. There you go. Guess they just nerfed it. Fuck.
What?
It's not
Just we-
nerfed.
No, we had a 5% buff actually on a new build.
On the new build, though.
Yeah, on using public put out a Twitter about a new build, and it's a 5% buff.
Beast is down.
I was gonna say, was I supposed to get a
It's
summon? I am on my way. I am on my way.
Jacob, do you have our?
I know I'm late, everybody. I'm sorry again. I
do you have our cauldrons
apologize.
ready?
I'm still moving in.
Yeah.
I'm packing
You
shit.
don't need to fucking move.
Boy, it's already happened. What do you mean?
Too late.
I don't have a choice.
Go back.
Tyree, could you figure out when Fury group?
Yep, I got it. I need like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'll get my fury up.
What's the minimum item level for tonight?
He's nuts.
Hey, dude.
Got him.
Listen, if you're high
I don't pass then.
you pass the vibe check.
God
I don't
damn
think
it.
I pass then.
Get fucking bamboozled.
Oh dang.
Oh my dad, everyone's here.
Everybody should be able to be past me.
Are you sure
Yeah, I'm
about
only
that?
450.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
Where are you?
Chroma is our pumper.
Of her.
Chroma is our
Oh.
resident mage.
Chroma is a hard guy tonight, boys. And watch, he's gonna get all the loot. Watch, I promise. Oh, speaking of, do we have our Sealy Council going?
I can't wait to
TV time.
press all the wrong buttons.
Wait, let me pass Riley.
I'm gonna cry in this corner over here.
Okay.
What's the strat?
Tyree, you should have
Yeah, I got it. Can
Okay.
everyone make? Actually, I'm gonna check it right now. But everyone, make sure you have our Sealy Council installed. Every single person needs to
Reason
have
I'm
it.
here.
What do we need?
have it in
Yeah,
RC Loot Council.
Yeah, our
RC
Sealy
Good
Council.
add-on.
Yep.
Just RC Loot Council. We're not doing that fucking
Yep.
EKGP shit. Just RC Loot Council.
Mm-hmm.
Our bald friend here might not have it.
cauldrons ready?
I can put them out.
Yes, please. And then once you have your stuff from the cauldron, just hop onto disc. It's gonna be the same strat as heroic to start off with, but we're just gonna have to be a lot better with our positioning and our communication. But especially if you're someone's new to our raid team, hop onto the
Do
disc
I-
stream, and I'll help you walk everyone through the strat.
Do I just need the add-on that is called RC Loot Council? I don't need none of the others.
Correct.
Yes, just the base
Okay.
one.
And then we are double dipping into the draconic files, right?
That is correct. Make sure to use the 2 files and then pick up 2 more.
And then who am I PIing?
You
That
are
dot
PIing
or
that dot. You got
okay.
Oh
Good PI
shit!
needed.
I didn't even
I'm not
ask.
sure.
Should I have been on my
DK.
my DK?
Are you
Whatever
more
you want.
comfortable on your DK or your paladin tonight?
I can do whichever one
No,
you
no, no,
want.
no. You're deciding. What do you feel more comfortable and think you can pull better, survive better? We can't make
Probably
that
DK.
decision.
I was about to say I'll just move to the DK. That's what we're doing. My
Okay.
bad. If we're not starting on heroic, then it'd be better for me to just be on the DK.
All right, that's fine. Either way, it's gonna be fine. Fuck. Missy, I know I just messaged you, but never. Actually, never mind. Ignore me.
Okay. Once you have your potions and files, try and hop onto the stream. It's going to be the same strat, but I've implemented a couple things to help with communication, especially. We currently... So for anyone that hasn't followed our strat before, we're going to start off with the boss in middle, and we are going to start by placing the puddles in a circle, going from the boss to the edge of the room. We're actually going to tank the boss a tad closer to this side. That's because at the very start we'll only have 3 pools. By the time we 180 all the way over here, we could have 5 or even 6 pools, so that way we'll have a lot more space on the opposite side to fit that many pools. Especially for range and melee. But especially for range, if you are we are going to start with 3 pools at the very start. What's up?
He has open mic.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
oh my god, it's that. Oh, sorry.
But if anyone doesn't know the mythic mechanic, when the lasers come out, a lot of damage will go out if the lasers go over any puddles from previous lasers. And so the basic strat that we're doing in heroic is that we first start with puddles at the 6 o'clock. The rest of the raid is going to be standing to the left of the puddles. Lasers are going to come out, and then it was kind of just a free-for-all in heroic who goes where, right? But for mythic, it's going to be really important for us to communicate who is going to which puddle, and that will help the healers a ton in minimizing the damage that's going out, because if any rays overlap each other, if anyone is if 2 people are going for the same puddle, the second raid doesn't clear and it's just going to do a shit ton of damage. So especially as a ranged DPS, keep in mind, if you're comfortable DPSing from really far away, if your range on your spells are really good, try and stay to the back of the room whenever possible. And when raids are going out, try and communicate at the best of your guys' ability who's got close, who's got far, second from the farthest, and it might not even be based on whether you're melee or DP or range, but most of the time melee is going to be up close. So let's say if there are 4 wolves coming out this 9 o'clock side, and let's say 2 range and 2 melee get it. If you're a melee and you're around here, please call I've got second. And that way, you know, if a range is kind of standing in the same place, they know to go to either 3rd or 4th without overlapping. And so that means that whenever I'm calling lasers in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, feel free to, if you're a melee, to just step out of melee range just a little bit, because once the lasers spawn, they spawn right on top of people. So by taking that initiative to move out a little bit, you're going to minimize the chances of two lasers spawning right on top of each other, and it also makes deciding who goes to which puddle a lot easier. Same thing for range. If you see a bunch of people clumped up kind of pretty close in range, and you hear me calling lasers coming out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, even if it's to hold up damage for just a couple seconds, take that initiative to spread out back, and that way if the lasers are coming, they aren't spawning really close together and just cause a huge logjam in terms of who's calling to which one. Once we get towards the end of the fight, there can be up to 6 puddles, and kind of at that last 20% of his life, we're going to follow the same principles, but it's going to be kind of a shit show to call, you know, 4th puddle or 5th puddle. So at that point, it's going to be absolutely a case of just use your own judgment at that time. We're going to try and keep it as clean as possible in the first couple puddles, but at that point, it's absolutely a case of individual responsibility and figuring out the cleanest path to get there. I don't care if you have to go on a merry ride in the back of the room just to make sure you're avoiding the puddles with your laser. Safety above everything else, especially as this is a prog kill. Something that we definitely need to work on since our heroic kill is the next set of puddles. So let's say this is a 3, and then the whole rate is here. Lasers come out. Someone calls 1, someone calls 2, someone calls 3. The second one, we want a bit of a gap. It doesn't have to be a huge gap, but we want enough of a gap for the next set of puzzles. So when people get the next set of lasers, they have space after the previous set to stand in and bait the lasers that way. Earlier, when we were doing it heroic, I was kind of letting it slide. We were having a lot of situations where the next set of puddles were really, really close, and the only way that people can bait the lasers is by literally standing in the previous puddles. That's fine in heroic to pop a simple defensive, but damage is going to ramp up a lot in mythic, especially if we have any hiccups with running the lasers over puddles. So please, please leave some space for. It doesn't even have to be a lot of space, but just enough space for someone to stand behind the next set. But yeah, tanking the boss close, closer to this side, so when we swing around to the other side, we'll have space for 5, 6 puddles. When I'm counting down, especially with the 4, 5, and 6, it would help a lot for melee and range to kind of spread out as I'm counting down for the laser spawns, so that's just baiting the lasers. Try and call out if you are either getting of which one you're calling. We're generally going to be calling first puddle is going to be the closest, second and third moving out. So if there are 4 puddles, call 4th if you're getting the furthest one, first if you're getting the closest, etc. Any questions?
I have a question, Umi.
Yes.
Just for clarification,
Hmm?
when you say when the rays come out, we don't want them to overlap. The overlap is for like the scar that they leave on the ground. Like we don't want the rays to cross scars, basically, right?
Yes. So basically, any puddles that are left behind from previous rifts. So let's say the first set of rifts come out, and you drag the lasers on top of them. The laser itself will leave a small puddle, as well as when you clear a rift with a laser, it'll leave a big puddle as well. So any puddle you see on the ground from previous lasers, or even current lasers, so if 2 lasers overlap, that counts as overlapping, and that'll do a shit ton of damage, so that's the one situation we want to avoid.
Okay.
But basically, anytime you see shit on the ground, don't drag a laser over it. Okay. Any more questions? Let me just get a raid marker to give us an idea of where to put the boss.
Yeah, can I get an invite? Is that something we could
Shit. Who's got Shock as a friend? Already there?
What's up?
Shock isn't in the group. Do you have his friend? Or is
I
that
do
Bagel?
not have him on my friends list. What are we gonna do? What do you guys think? Because we are actually at 21 right now.
I can sit.
Who's that?
I think it might
X.
be.
Yeah,
Chroma.
Is Bald part of the team, or was
No.
he kind of brought in?
No, we need Bald. We need the Demon Hunter Magic brand. Actually, do we care that much?
No, not really for the first couple of bosses. I want every single trial to get the chance to play with us and
Yeah,
show
you're
us
right.
what they got. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Clean.
If
I was
you
gonna say I don't mind sitting if you guys need someone to sit.
No, if you're on the team, you're on the team. I know we kind of brought in Bald Guy mostly in case we were struggling with numbers, but it sounds like everyone's here. Bagel, would that be okay?
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Bald Guy.
please feel free to stick around though, in case because we have a couple of people that are a little under geared. So please feel free to stick around in case the numbers just aren't there.
Okay. Did Shock get an invite?
He's getting it right now.
Okay.
Oh, you're in Area 52, right? Shock.
Cricket.
I didn't get anything.
Are you on what server are you on?
Irida?
What server are you on?
Can you hear us, Shock?
Mayo and AFK.
No, he was saying things.
And another evoker got his legendary.
Did you?
The triumphant roar that you see in the general chat, that's when an evoker gets their legendary.
Gotcha. What's the drop rate on that thing?
I think it's gone up
1%
quite a bit.
Okay.
It's had to have gone up because it's just going constantly now.
Shock, you there?
I typed it in the chat.
What chat did you type it in?
He's on
Oh.
Iridar.
Iridar? Hold on. I'm not seeing my Discord.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a notification if he types inside the raid chat.
Oh, got it.
Here's a table if anybody needs it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, this is the issue. Like, this is great that we have numbers now, but this is an issue that is gonna arise. Just future reference, everyone, for when this does happen. Like, so let's talk about like next week, right?
Hit a portal up in the meantime.
Our goal is to have 23 to 25 members, so there will always be people sitting just simply because of number. There's a number issue, right? Because we're hard locked at 20. That said, like on raid clears and stuff, we will be shaking up the comp. So every single person in the raid group, whether you're a trial or you're a perma bench or whatever, you will get the kills on each boss. It's just like during prog and stuff, we may have to have certain people in for certain buffs and stuff. But again, that's not an attack on anybody or whatever. Just, some classes are better at certain things. A good example of that is on hard single target fights like this. For the future, as a Shadow Priest, I might have to sit in favor of a better single target class.
Hey, Shock, I put a feast down for you.
Could we get lockbox as well for him?
Appreciate it.
Exactly, Grim.
Okay. Any last questions before we go for our first pull?
Ah, dude, this is beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna be tanking on Skull. First set of pools are going straight down at the 6 o'clock, so make sure you're positioning slightly to the left. Lust on pull. Don't forget your potions from the cauldron. I don't think we'll have time for a second potion, but we'll see how long this fight's going. With our level of gear, it shouldn't take that long, but
Make sure you're in the right spec too. I just almost went in as an AoE spec.
that's a good call. I'll do one more ready check. This is for the pull. Welcome to Mythic, boys.
Is it?
Can we get never mind. Doesn't matter.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Kind
Okay, well, we're popping Lust right as he gets to the skull.
4, 3, 2, 1.
No. Moving back just a tad. First set of wrists are coming out now.
I hate how much I
Get a line here.
What?
In the 6
I
o'clock,
hate how
get a
much
line.
I like you and your mama.
Knock back here.
Love you.
Love you.
Lasers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch your feet here. As the lasers are coming out, try and call out in comms which one you're going to. We still have the really close one. Someone run to the really close one. Frontal. Sorry about that. And then we have a new set of rifts in 3. In a line here. Watch your feet. We have a pushback in about 3. Now. Lasers in 5. Start thinking about which one you plan on going to if you get a laser. 3, 2, now.
Yep, Tyrant in the middle.
Someone needs a far
Grim
one.
has back.
There you
Grim has
go.
back.
Breath here. Frontal. Another set of rifts in 5. Here they are. Get these in a line. They're 4 this time. Knockback. Lasers in 5, 4, 3. Start thinking about which one you want to head to. Now.
Fancy's on 1.
Ron's on 3.
We still have 2. Frontal. Sorry about that. Frontal. Rifts will be after this in about 3 seconds, so get back into position. Rifts coming out now. I've got the closest rift, everyone else behind me. Watch your feet here, pop a defensive. Push back in 2. Lasers in 3. Melee try and spread out just a little bit backwards. Here come the lasers.
Second.
Looks like we need someone in the back. Watch your laser here.
Yep, it's
Frontal. The rift's coming out now. Make sure you're in position for these. I got the closest one.
I got 2. We have portals in the back also. Back right, far back right.
Okay, range, you can try and get those 2 in the back. Here come the lasers.
X has got the second back one.
Shram,
Breath
you're
in
gonna
2.
you're gonna revival at 40%.
Breath now. Frontal.
When it blows up.
Try and reposition range.
This
Your
is you,
rifts are
Shram.
going to be a bit of a miss. We have refs in 5s. Try and start making your way over.
We still have a rift up.
Yeah,
Spread
2
these
people
out.
cleared
Spread these out.
behind me.
Lasers in about 3. Try and spread out a little bit melee if you can. Here come the lasers. You have a lot of options here.
That's 2.
I've got 2. I got 3.
No.
Pop defensive here. Pop a defensive here.
Up defenses, guys, and soul stones and
Frontal,
everything.
frontal. We have rifts coming out now.
There's still 1 rift in the very back. 2 rifts.
I say we wipe it. I think we're too far. Wipe it up.
Okay.
I mean, that was a good first pull in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Really good.
Are we leaving too much space between the puddles?
No.
I would say that instead of doing a straight line, we kind of make a curved line.
Yeah. I agree. So it looks like after the first couple, it's kind of tough to get a straight line without leaving a bunch of space in the back. So if you can curve it to give us a little bit more space, that would help. But also at the same time, if it gets to 5 or 6, I also don't mind if the ones in the back, rather than in a line, are kind of just spread out because there's a lot of space in the back compared to near the front. So it doesn't have to be in a straight line, as long as you have space for people to maneuver a laser around there. Don't worry too much. Just try not to have them stacked up right on top of each other.
That fourth one that we got to push back at the exact same time we got puddles that drop.
Yeah.
That one and every single one after it.
I'll keep an out on overlaps like that so people are prepared. I'll do better job calling those out. I'm not sure if those overlaps are for every pull. We'll see with this next pull.
Quick question: when you say curve, you mean curve inward or outward?
Just try and fill up the space closer to the previous set of.
Gotcha.
So I mean, if you want to use me deep throb and salt as like with demo.
Yeah. So let's say this is our first one. It's a line. Let's say we have this line about 4. If we go in a straight line like this, we're leaving a lot of space. So if the X marker can be curved a little bit inwards, we're saving a little bit of space for the next one.
Something that would simplify
Yes.
curving it would be to make sure that, let's say, deep drop right here is the first number 1, and then I'm the second number 1, and I'm right here. You want to make sure that you're about the same distance from the next line over. So you're going to kind of naturally curve when that happens, because the distance between the 2 points will remain the same throughout the fight. And it'll also help keep a space where someone can wait for me to go through without standing in that.
Yeah, and also, guys, just note that if you see the puddles come up, literally just go stand next to a puddle. It's not gonna knock you sideways; it'll knock you back. And the closer you are, the more room we have in the room as a whole. So literally use all the space we have, or use as tight as the space, because it's also less movement you have to do.
Yeah, I trust most of you guys to use your best judgment. If you see a huge amount of space and you can move your puddle in a way that saves us a little bit of space, do it. Go for it. Towards the end, when things get really messy, we might just call for kind of a free-for-all and just use our best judgment. But yeah, that was a really good first pull. The first couple sets of puddles are going to be like clockwork in terms of moving lasers over puddles and avoiding that. But as we get later on, I'm going to be calling out people to be a lot more careful with their bringing the lasers over stuff. So our DPS is not the question. but just make sure we're getting through those safely. Keep that communication up. I really like most of our communication the first pull. But yeah, on the tanks. Go get your potions here. Do lusting right when he gets the skull.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead. First set of rivers coming out now. Straight line down to 6 o'clock. Push back right after. Out. Lasers in about 5. Make sure someone gets that puddle in the far end. And then after this, try and make sure you're positioning to the left of where we're at. Breath is coming out now. Watch for the frontal. Frontal now. Dread Rift's in about 3. Make sure you're in a position so you can drop the puddles where they need to be. Coming out now. Someone get close. Someone run close. Watch your feet here. Watch your feet. We have a pushback in about 3. Pushback now. Lasers in about 5 seconds. Start thinking about which one you want to head to. Watch your positioning here. Watch your feet for the swirlies.
Hey, go got second.
The boy got first.
Take over defensive. Take it around. Shock, you need to take it around.
You need to take it around.
It's gonna blow, guys.
Coming out now.
Pop a defensive.
I got close, Rift.
I got second.
We've got lasers in about 5. Lasers now.
Salt says one.
I have 2. Frontal coming out now. Frontal. Try and get over back to this side. The next set of wrists are coming out. Now.
1.
I've got 3. We have lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now. Cloud, where are you
Fancy
going?
got 2.
I got 3. Lux has 3.
Breath in 2. Breath. Next set of rifts is in 3. In fact, let's continue what we're doing, having these in a straight line, if that makes sense. So you can move the boss up just a little bit.
Okay.
Lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now. I have 1.
I have 4.
Oh, that's gonna be a bad one.
Pop a defensive here. Breath coming out. Yeah, pop a defensive here, everybody. Can you pick someone up? Pick up Zaltz. Breath coming out in 2. Watch the frontal. Frontal here, frontal here.
Watch her.
Next to the wrist, try and continue in that straight line to the right. Okay, we've got 3 close and 3 far. Try and use your best judgment here about how to minimize. Here come the lasers. Pop a defensive here if you can. Okay.
Guys, make sure you're not dragging it through the stuff on the ground.
Let's wipe it up here. Yeah, I think we should change our strat. I think.
Yeah. Hold on. Does anyone here not understand what the mythic mechanic is?
Wipe it up. Wipe it up.
I think the one of the issues that I saw was that 2 of the pools were perpendicular instead of parallel to one another.
Yeah.
Yes, they were far, and I agree that is a problem that we need to work on as well. But you can deal with that by not dragging your beam through other beams. Like, yeah, it's more, it's a lot less efficient. But guys, take the extra time to run all the way around. Because you dragging it through the stuff that's on the ground literally wipes us. Instead of just taking the 15 extra seconds, yeah, I get it. You lose 10k DPS. Who cares? Us killing the boss is a lot more important than your dead parse, or the group's dead parse. Mechanics over everything else, and you'll learn that as we get further into Mythic.
I think we might want to transition into kind of dropping them in a straight line. I think that strat has been used by a lot of people as well, and it seems to make a lot of sense with the rotating. And,
Rotating the boss in the party? Like the
sure.
Tetris strat?
Yeah, the Tetris strat.
Okay.
I'll throw up. I'll share the screen one more time. I think this will be a lot more. So what we're gonna do is start the boss kind of in that back corner. Let me throw some new markers down. Okay. We have skull in the back, X and then square. Skull, X and square. This is where our first 3 puddles are gonna be. We're gonna tank the boss right here. And then when the first puddles come out, you're going to X, square, and skull. If you get a laser, try and decide which lane you're going to be ahead of time. If there are a lot of people in one lane, feel free to move to the other. This way, just like what I said about spreading and whenever those lasers come out, once the lasers come out, so one will always be the furthest north, if that makes sense. So skull would be 1, X will be 2, square will be 3. So we can still call it out using those numbers. And we're going to drag the lasers over the rift, and then we're going to move the boss forward. And then we're going to have the next set of rifts. 1, 2, 3, all the way till the end. And then at some point we're going to have to do a big move. So let's say all this is filled up. Wait, let me think how would this work best? Should we rotate this way?
Yeah,
So
you just rotate as you go. So like
you
after
just rotate. Okay.
So when we get to like the third set of beams, like the third set of circles we have now, then you start doing it across the top of the room.
Yeah. So we're gonna say the first 3 lasers are going to be this way. That's for the first 3. And then from the 4th one onwards, we're gonna use the rest of the room to start going this way. So the first set after the 3rd one is gonna be here. The second one will be here. And so by the time we get to like 3 or 4 and we have 5 or 6 of them, we'll have literally the whole width of the room to work with.
And that knockback will help us get in position too.
Yeah. And just remember, after the lasers, we're going to have to move the boss forward. And then there's going to be a big move after... Not a big move, but move the boss to about here for the 4th one. So we can get another set. I'll throw some markers down right now. So we can have... Diamond...
I'll be right back.
Star... Okay, so those 3 are just kind of a general guidance of where you might want to put the 4th set. So I'll be calling out when to make that shift over from this direction to that direction. Just know that the first 3 are going to be going from left to right, and then from the 4th one onwards, we're going from north to south. This will be a little bit more demanding on the tanks to make sure that they're getting enough distance and making it easier for everyone to move.
Well, in theory, also, you could literally just have the boss start at the back of the room anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone can hop over to where these markers are, and we're gonna start pulling from there. Yeah, I was hoping that that we could maintain our heroic strat and just have it be clean, but I think this works a lot better. I'll just already check to see if everyone's here. I think Jimmy said he was gonna be right back. Is that right?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Any last questions?
Okay.
Okay, once everyone's here, feel free to do a full timer. The first set of puddles can even be behind where the markers are right now.
Yeah, it could be like where our tyrant is across here. Just something. Just be careful not to get thrown back into it.
3, 2, 1.
And for calling out positioning, 1 will always be the furthest left puddle, if that makes sense.
You can go ahead and move the boss towards the other side of the room.
Yeah, to the left a little bit. Okay, those are the first set. Lasers will be in about 5.
Go in position to get ready for the lasers, guys.
3. Now.
Alright, I had 1. I had 2. Alright,
Frontal. We have rifts in about 5, so leave a little bit of space between the previous ones. Watch your feet. Rifts will be in about 3. Get that in a straight line. That's perfect. Knock back in 2. Lasers in about 5. 3. Coming out now. We're gonna have a breath in about 3.
I have 1.
Breath coming out now. Watch your frontal. And then we have one more set of rifts before we're going to pivot. Look at where those previous rifts are. Straight line here.
It's got 1.
That's perfect. Knock back. And then we have lasers in 5. And 2. Lasers coming out now. Right
X
after
got
this, you
1.
can reposition. Watch your feet here. Pop a defensive. Everyone reposition so your next rifts can be horizontal, frontal. Next rifts are in 3. Have these along the back. Use that star as a guideline for where 1 should be. That works. Knock back. We have lasers in about 5. Get Zalt's up. Lasers coming out now. I've got 2.
I have 1.
We have a breath.
Lasers.
We have a breath in 5. Frontal now. Rift's coming out now.
You have 2 healers
Move
down.
the boss forward a little bit.
X is far corner 1. Blew up.
Okay, wipe it up.
Guys, make sure, like, if you see someone next to you and they have a beam also, go to the one over. Don't try to cheese it and just take immediately the one closest to you, because you have to look to your sides also.
And if you are absolutely sure that you want to go to a certain puddle, I'm okay with that. Just please call it out so someone knows. Because if there are 2 people right next to a puddle, both of them want it, no one's gonna know who wants to go there unless someone calls it out.
Yeah, but the point being that because somebody got greedy and didn't want to run further, they wiped the raid.
If we get a little bit of space in between those puddles, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Just a little bit more space. I think the first 3 were good, but once it gets to the 4th and 5th, once we're getting kind of bunched up, feel free to use that little bit of extra space. We have the whole length of the room to move forward in.
When you say 1, 2, and 3, are we going left to right?
Yes. So for the first 3, skull would be 1, X would be 2, square would be 3. Once we've pivoted and we're moving across, then star would be 1, diamond would be 2, triangle would be 3, etc. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, because that kind of confused me a little bit. So thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, of course. So the furthest left puddle will always be 1, whichever direction they're facing.
We can naturally spread out more after we pivot and we move past these first 3, by the way.
Yes.
So you don't have to travel quite as far. I think the idea of staying in your lane is a good one.
Yeah. Especially once we pivot, that we saw that we had 5, and then later will be 6. Spreading out and picking a lane where not everyone else is going to help so much. If you get that laser, all of a sudden, if we're all bunched up in the middle, all of a sudden you're fighting with 3 people to decide who goes to the closest puddle. Spread it out, you're going to make your life and everyone else's lives way easier. Okay. Remember, the first set of puddles can go behind where the skull is.
Yeah, let's try to maximize the amount of room. Like, if it's back here, literally, that would be perfect. Like, on the chain.
Yeah, even if it's back here. As long as we get a line of 3, I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, on the text. Don't forget your potions.
5, 4.
Pop mine for DPS.
Yes, sir. Bring the boss back, bring the boss back. Red rifts in 2. Make sure they're in a line. That's fine, knock back here. We have lasers in about 3. You can move the boss over to the left just a little bit. Lasers coming out now. We're gonna have breath in about 3, so be careful, Ray.
I have 1.
Don't drag it the ability? Good job, whoever did the middle one.
New set of rifts in 2. Someone get over to the left. There you go. Watch your feet, guys. Push back in about 5. Push back in 2. Now. We have lasers in about 5.
I have 2.
Breath in 2. Watch the frontal. Frontal here. Laser people, careful. Pop a defensive here.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it out. Misty, make sure to go to the furthest one.
Here
We
comes
still have a
rift.
laser out.
Yeah, Lux, that's you. Lux,
I
let's
called
go
2.
take it.
I went to 2.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that there's other people that will
We're
literally have to go
pivoting
around
here. We're pivoting here. So start repositioning after these lasers.
Guys, watch the thing on the foreground.
New rifts in about 5. Remember, we're pivoting, so 1 is now at star. Someone get over there.
Grim's on star.
Knock back in 3. Knock back now. Oh, no. Oh, pop a defensive here if you can't dodge any of these swirlies. And then we're going to have a push back in about 3. Push back now. And it'll be lasers after this in about 5. Lasers coming out now. Watch the swirlies on the ground.
Fanciest 2.
Breath in 2. Watch the frontal here. Frontal. New rifts in about 3. Try not to be too far so you can put your rift in a good place. I've got 1. Push back. Push back. We have lasers in 2. We have 2 kind of over each other. Watch how you position these. Lasers.
I got
Breath in 3.
Grim, you need all
Breath
the way
now.
around.
Breath now.
Don't let it blow up.
Dread rifts. Move the boss forward a little bit. Pop a defensive here if you don't have.
Good job, Grim.
Here come the rifts. Just a straight line at this point. I got. Someone get 1. Someone get 1. Okay, awesome. Lasers in 2. Here come the lasers. I've got 3.
I have 1.
I have 4.
Actually. I'll get the back one.
Frontal, frontal, frontal.
Just go all the way around.
Ah.
Here come the new rifts. Just a straight line here. You can go further out. We have a lot of space now. Okay, let's wipe it up. Okay, I think we're getting the movement down a little. There are times, wipe it up guys, there are going to be times where you're going to have to run around. Shout out to anyone who was able to do that and making it work and not causing any wipes. Sometimes you're just going to have to do that, stop DPS. Remember, once we reach past kind of the halfway point, we have the rest of the room to spread out, especially once we get to 5 or 6 puddles. So don't be afraid to spread it out a little. It'll help the people, especially those that end up getting kind of bunched up.
Also, guys, again, I get it. Sometimes the one next to you is convenient, and that's the one you'd really, really want. Go to the further one if it's going to help out the team, because that's extremely important. Making sure we as a group are able to clear the boss. Don't get greedy just because it's the closest one.
Yeah, I want to hear just a little bit more communication.
Even communication, like I could be sitting here with me and here I'm gonna pull him. Me and Fizz could both be standing right here, and there could be a skull. But just because it's more convenient for me because I'm already on top of skull, and Fizz would have to move further. Like I have to remember that he is melee. I could literally just run over here to X and keep doing damage. There's a convenience versus a inconveniencing myself, but for the entire raid group helping everyone out.
But communication will help you guys know who is going to be making that long run. Sometimes it is the melee, sometimes it is range. If you're both near skull and one of you guys calls out 1, the other person knows they're going to have to run across.
And literally just run all the way around. I saw Grim do it, and that was freaking fantastic. If you have 30 seconds of downtime, I don't care. You don't kill the group, and we kill the boss.
I was about to say that last pool I had to run to bumfuck Narnia because there was still a pool all the way back here at the very beginning, and we were pivoting. I had to fucking.
Well, I went for that back one.
Yeah, just remember also, guys, if you die with the beam, you leave that pool. You don't have to go to the back one. There will always be one available. But again, you can't take the new ones until the old ones are taken. So just be very careful with what you use and how you do it.
I had no choice in that situation where I was. It was the only pool available, so I just had to.
We got this, guys.
Awesome. You got stuck on the outside of my trail. I saw it. I was like, oh no.
Everyone's ready. Let's get it. On tanks.
Five, four, three, two, one.
First set of rifts in 3. Push back. Lasers in about 3. Now.
I have
Mad
2.
Skull.
Frontal.
I have 1.
Next set of rifts in about 3. Look at where those previous rifts are. Watch your feet here. The rifts are going to be in 3. Coming out now. I've got 1. We have lasers in about 5. There are 4 puddles here, so range, feel free to spread out just a little bit. Here come the lasers. Frontal.
Fuck, I couldn't get there, sorry.
Yeah, pick up Grim. That's alright. This is the last set of rifts going this way. Right after the next set of lasers, we're going to pivot. Push back right after. Push back here. Lasers. Pivoting
X,
right after.
back 1.
I have 3.
Watch your feet here. Pop a defensive if you need it. We're going to have a breath, and then after that, we're going to have the next set of rifts, which are going to be pivoted here. Frontal. Next rift in 5. 1 is going to be at star. Use that as your reference point. Someone go to 1. Someone go to 1. Push back. We have lasers in about 5. Melee, try and get 1 and 2. Leave 3, the 1 far to the right for range.
Alright, he's coming through melee, careful.
Breath coming.
Careful of the beam coming through melee right now.
We have the next set of rifts here. I've got... Okay. Walk back here.
I just crashed.
Pop a defensive. Lasers in 2.
I have 3. Oh, I'm dead.
Breath in about 3 seconds.
That's fucking awkward.
Yeah, I think
now.
2 lasers spawn on top of each other.
Okay, wipe it up.
That was just unfortunate. I think we just go back.
Yep. So especially after the pivot, I want melee to be kind of spread 1 and 2 and 3, if that makes sense. So the first 3 puddles to the left should most of the time be melee because the boss is going to be towards that side. Range, if you guys can spread around 4, 5, and 6, that makes it a lot easier to... Because we had a couple situations where range had to run all the way from 5 and 6 all the way to 1 because a melee took one of the ones closer to that side. So let's have melee. So kind of after we've pivoted over here where these first 3 are, melee, can you try and stay in this area? And I know a lot of range are to the right of that. That way the raid is kind of evenly spread out, and we don't have a situation where we can minimize the situations where someone has to run all the way across.
So for the other melee, what puddles are easiest for you to get? Because I can do damage from range, so I can take 1 on that far side, on star side, or I can take 3. It doesn't matter.
I would say that's going to change based on the situation and positioning. The best thing you can do to help out other people is by calling which one you're going to.
Well, I've been trying to stay between 2 and 3 because, like,
Right.
I can do damage from range. But on the star side, I noticed like those first 2 plants are really far away. So if I can make someone else's life easier by taking 1 or 2 on the star side,
that would be a big help. Just call it out if you're noticing that people are having trouble getting to 1, and you know you can get there reliably. Just call out, I'm going 1. But sometimes the lasers just aren't going to line up the way that you want them to for that situation. So I can't absolutely say, oh no, you're going to 1 every single time, if that makes sense.
Also, did everyone see how I called out that I was going through melee, and I was over here near blue, and I had to run all the way to star. Like, legit, if you have to do that, just call out the hey, I'm coming through or whatever. That way we all know it's about to happen.
Yeah, that's honestly such a huge step up.
Get out the way.
Between heroic and mythic, there's going to be a much higher responsibility on individuals to be able to call out what's happening.
It's going to be worse on Xbox, just a heads up, guys, because everyone is going to have to talk. Next boss is literally each person's gonna have to talk about when they clear with the persons they're assigned to.
Okay, on the text.
I want you guys to know that I broke 100k DPS.
Let's go.
I was at 155 when I freaking DC'd.
Only did 100 though. So.
That was so sad.
4, 3,
Let's bring the boss
1.
closer to us and slightly to the left. Lust. Yeah, that's perfect. First set of rifts are coming out. Don't be afraid to bring those all the way to the back corner. I've got 1.
Back it up.
Push back right after. Push back right after. Lasers in about 3. Lasers now. We're gonna have a breath in 3. Watch the frontal here. I've got 1. Frontal, frontal.
I've got 2.
New set of rifts in about 5. Rifts coming out now. Oh no, we've got swirlies first, but rifts will be 5 seconds from now. Rifts. Spread those out. Push back in 2. Now. Lasers in about 5. So melee try and stay at 1 and 2. Range will get 3 and 4 most of the time.
I have 2.
Lasers coming out. We have a breath into 2.
I got 1.
Breath in 2.
I got 4. Pop a defensive.
Frontal here. Frontal here. Pop a defensive here. Okay, we have 1 more set of rifts before the pivot.
I wonder why wasn't there.
Let's get these clean. Spread this out. Spread this out. We have a pushback right after. Pushback now. Lasers in 5. If you don't have a laser, feel free to pivot ahead of time. If you have a laser, just make sure you're in position after. Lasers.
I have 1.
I got 2.
Breath in 3. Pivot, guys. Pivot. Next set of rifts are in 5. Make sure you're getting to that new position. Okay, we're gonna have swirlies first. Save the B-res just for a healer. New set of rifts in 2. Make sure you're getting to that position. Move the boss across, please. Rifts. Someone has to get 1. Run across, run across.
Rifts on 1.
Push back. Lasers in 3. I want good communication here, guys.
X on 5.
Grimm's in the middle.
I got 1.
Breath in 3. Watch this frontal. Coming out now. We have new set of rifts in about 2. Rifts now. Spread those out.
Fred said Fred.
Knockback. Lasers in about 3.
I have
Sorry,
one.
sorry,
I have 3. I have 3.
I have 1.
Pop a defensive here. Pop a defensive here, guys. Get deep throb up. We have a breath in about 5. Now. New rifts in about 3. Spread these out. Range, try and stay towards the right side to help melee with the rifts closer. Laser in about 3.
Before I get up there, or like?
I have 1.
I've got 4.
2 is wide open.
2.
Watch your health here, watch your health here.
Oh.
Breath in 3. Okay, let's wipe it up.
I couldn't get to 1. Sorry.
Wipe it up. I'm loving the communication there, guys. That was a lot better. Don't even worry about calling your name, just shout out the number.
It looked like there was one on 3, and somebody just teleported right to it, and the beam just went across all of the fucking pool.
Shut up. I was thinking about my bike. I was on bike. I'm getting it back on the road.
Keep in mind, according to most people, this boss is the wall, so the fact that we're consistently making it to like 20-ish% is really good. This
Yeah,
boss is considered the wall of the first 4 bosses of Mythic.
Yeah, Zakali is a joke. We're going to be doing that next. If we can kill this guy, Zakali should be a cakewalk.
Why can't Magma Rex be the first boss?
It's a little bit harder than heroic.
No, the fuck it's not.
It's a little bit harder, lol.
He just hits harder.
Yeah, he hits harder for sure. I think there actually is one mechanic change. I forget.
Can we stack the puddles? That's all that.
No, you absolutely can't in Mythic.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You
sure you
can,
still
you
can.
can.
On Magmarax, you can stack the first 3.
First couple, yeah.
Yeah. After that, you do have to separate them.
Okay, Shock asks for a minute. The biggest thing is gonna make sure that we are progressing consistently is not freaking out if you're gonna have to move far. Just take a second to figure out where you're going. Look at the floor. Defense does not matter at that point. But our
Is that
GM?
Jimmy and the laughing woman in the background?
We got it fixed. Yeah,
Also,
try to be careful, guys, with the open comms. I will. We really don't want to have to force push to talk.
You want me to? I'll change it.
No, you're good. Just like during a fight. Like I run push to talk during like in the middle of raid fights.
You should run me.
Or talk on mute.
Server muted.
Also, thanks for the call for range to stay further back, because I was having to get the back ones before, and as a Death Knight, that was atrocious.
Yep.
But that
Wheelchair.
last pull, I was managing to actually stick to the first couple.
Yeah. Melee. I do see a couple of people straying over, so if you can, as a melee, if you know you can get to 1, that's probably the most useful one, so we don't have anyone, that's a knock-on effect. If no one's at 1, then someone has to make that long run all the way from the other side, so. Okay. When we're ready, check this for the pull. I think we have about 2 or 3 pulls before break, so.
Cool outside. Oh.
Whack.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Gotta agree.
I've got it adjusted, and now she's further back behind me. Can't hear nearly as much.
Wow.
Okay, on the tanks. All the ingredients are there. Let's pull it together and get this kill.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lust. We can move the boss slightly to the back and to the left just a little bit. Wrists are coming out now.
I have 3.
Push back here. Lasers are in about 5. Lasers in 2. Let's get our communication off to a good start. We have ref in about 3.
Bagel's got 2.
Ref now. Ref now. Watch out, Persona 1. Okay, we're gonna have swirlies here. No, we're gonna have wrist first. We're gonna have wrist first.
I got 2.
Watch the swirlies here.
Ron, you put that really far out, just heads up.
Number 3 is really far out, just be aware. We have lasers in 5. Lasers coming out now. Okay, communication good here. I've got 2.
1.
Frontal, sorry about that.
Ah.
We have rifts coming out now. This is the last one before the pivot. You're gonna have to pick up Jimmy after he dies, so be aware. Push back here. Get Jimmy up when you next can. Lasers coming out in 3. Remember, after, if you don't have a laser, feel free to pivot early.
Bagel's got 3. Oh, Bagel Dynamo.
Breath. After this breath, make sure you're getting to that pivot spot. New rift coming out in 3. Remember, 1 is on stars, quite far away. Let's move the boss. Move the boss.
It doesn't want to move.
Watch,
yeah,
watch,
cannot.
wait.
Stuck in an animation.
Rift's coming
Okay.
out now.
Dude, please stop casting stuff. I want to move you.
I got
Okay.
1. Fancy's got 1.
So we have a big gap here, guys. So after this first set of lasers, make sure we get that sorted out. Lasers coming out now. You might have to run far if you're 2. Be careful.
Fancy's on 1.
Pop defensive here. Watch your
I
health.
got 2.
Frontal. Frontal. Next set of rifts are in 3. Make sure you're getting that properly positioned this time. Rifts. We're gonna push back in about 3. Push back. Lasers are in 3. So 3 is a bit far away from 2, so just be careful. I'm on 2.
Okay. I got 1. Oh, you have 1. I'll go 2. Or 3.
So good.
Nope.
Frontal.
That whole time, I like.
Watch your feet. Pop a defensive if you have one.
Nope.
Need Dread Rift coming out. We have very few people on the left side. Make sure we're getting 1 and 2 properly. Okay, lasers are in 5. Here come the lasers.
I have 2.
Stupid door wall thing still there.
Breath in about 3. There's no hard DPS effect, so we're just gonna keep on going. I'm on 3.
I got 1.
Lasers coming out now. Taking 4.
The void on 2.
Oh, bubble bus.
No, we're
Cross.
wipe up, wipe up, wipe it up.
Whispers, if anything, that actually made her louder, by the way.
Well, she turned. She got up at that point.
Let's make sure positioning after the pivot is a lot better. We had a lot of people straggling, and getting that boss across is going to help a lot. I know he was stuck in animations, but we can move ahead of time, so just be careful with that. We had a lot of issues where 1, 2, and 3 were really far apart, and so we had like a huge gap in the middle. So there are a lot of confusion about whether people were supposed to run close or run far. Please move early during that pivot, and please get into a spot where you know you can make, if you get a rift, that you can get to those 1, 2, and 3 spots, especially as melee. I don't care if the boss is lagging behind because it's stuck in animations. We need those rifts in 1, 2, and 3. It just makes it a clusterfuck in the back if we have a bunch of lasers spawned there, because that's just where the rifts are. Yeah, the pushback overlapped way more. It was a lot worse stat pull than previous. I think it's a little bit random, so if there's a push, just be careful if there's a knockback right after puddles, that you're leaving a little bit of space so you're not running straight into the next puddle.
You still need priest and mage buff.
Yes, please.
Just heads up, everyone. At the moment, I don't know if you can talk. You need to turn on push to talk. We're having way too many comms.
Thank you.
Yeah, figure out your push to talk hotkey. Especially this is a high communication fight. Make sure that's handy. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just kind of a mess. It's not anyone's fault. Yeah, we're gonna have one more pull before break.
We have a situation like on that last poll where
Yes.
we have like a pool that's in Africa.
Yes.
And there's no safe way to get a beam to us. Do you just want us to kite the beam until the next round?
Is it all the way over there because it was part of a previous set, or?
I think what happened was that the knockback lined up with the pools dropping almost exactly, and
Okay.
there was a huge overlap between the two pools, so it was really difficult to get the beam without running it into something else.
So it kind of depends. If you feel confident in being able to kite it, and especially if you're in range. If you're a melee, that might be a lot more difficult. So feel free, if you know that if there's a situation where you're going to run over a puddle, it's not going to wipe the raid immediately, but you can call out in comms that, hey, pop a defensive here. At the very least, that's going to make sure that the healers are ready to heal up, because 1 or 2 ticks of the puddle isn't going to immediately kill someone. But if you're at range and you're in the far side and you know that you're going to have a comfortable time running that laser around, that's fine. But keep note that with the next set of puddles, with the next set of rifts, let's say there are 5 more rifts coming out and you still have a laser, there are going to be 5 lasers in the next one. So at some point someone has to clear it, if that makes sense. Okay. So you can't just kite it out and wait for the next one, because then you'll be stealing someone else's rift. So feel free to kite it out If it's, you know, there's a breath coming out, or if there are a lot of swirlies underground, that's fine. But at some point, you're just going to have to clear that rift. Unless someone has died before, that's a different situation, because that rift is going to be, that laser is going to despawn. But at some point, you're going to have to clear that rift, and the best thing to do there is just call out for defensives, or let people know in comms so at the very least healers are ready for that. So, okay, one last pull before break.
Alright guys, just keep it up, focus up, don't get greedy, and we got this kill. Then we can move on to the next one. So Golly and experiments are going to be easier than this.
Does anybody have any luck rocks?
Luck rocks, please.
Appreciate.
Thank you. Okay, gonna do one more ready check. It's for the pull. And once again, the thing that messed us up there was that transition and that pivot. So once you hear, I'm calling out the pivot really early, and when we're gonna be ready to move. So tanks be ready, melee be ready, especially because you guys are the furthest to move from this side all the way to that back left. We get that cleared up. We have most of our DPS up, then this boss is dead on the tanks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Last. First rest in 2. Make sure someone is getting that 1 in the corner. Thank you. Knock back here. We have lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now. We're gonna have a breath during this. Breath is in about 3.
Bagel's got 3.
Breath, breath. Watch out range. Watch your feet here. We're gonna have a bunch of swirlies. No, we're gonna have rift first. And then swirlies after. Then we're gonna have to push back in about 5. Push back now. Lasers in 5. Lasers. I got 2. Breath is coming out in 2. Watch the frontal, frontal. Then we're gonna have one more set of rifts before the pivot. Get that across. Push back here. Lasers. Anyone can pre-pivot if you don't get a laser here.
The one-on-one.
Ult's on too.
Here comes the breath. Watch the frontal here. So next rifts are in 3. Get over melee, especially melee. Pop a defensive here if you have it. New rifts in 3. Make sure that 1 is in that corner, guys. I've got 1. Push back here. Lasers in about 5. So that 5 is a bit further, just be careful about that. Lasers coming out now.
Grim has star.
We have a breath in about 3. Watch your health here, guys. Breath coming out. Watch your frontal here. Watch your frontal here. Get deep throb up next time we can. Rifts coming out. Push back, push back, push back. Lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now.
The Void has 1.
Ult's on.
Make it work. Pop a defensive here if you need to.
Going to be
Frontal, sorry. New set of rifts. Watch your feet here. Watch your feet here. Watch your health.
Results here I go.
Rift coming out. Yep. Leave this coming out in 3. I've got 2. Okay, wipe it up.
Alright, guys. I saw 3 different instances of people being greedy and going for a single what the hell is that thing called? Puddle. If you're gonna keep being greedy, guys, we're gonna have to start looking to people to replace you because you can't do mechanics correctly. Stop being greedy. If you need it, if you have more downtime, it's fine. It's better for you to not hit the boss than for you to kill the group.
Yeah, Umi.
I had to run like through a corridor things because it was like one of the first drops after the pivot.
Yep.
Umi, I stole your 2 there, but I got knocked back and I stayed there because I could still hit the boss from range, and I just
Gotcha.
happened to be behind 2 puddle.
Yeah,
No,
I
you're-
was. I had beam, and another person got beam right beside me, and they had one on their. They had a puddle on the right and left. I had a puddle right in front of me, and they took the one right in front of me.
Bit of fucking terrorism.
You want to speak about terrorism, my brother in Christ? I want you to see what
you
the
had to call me
fuck.
out?
No. I want you to see what the fuck Rons is about to do. Are you peeping my stream?
Yeah, give me a second. I want to pull Umi in. So what did everyone eat for dinner?
You.
Nice.
What's dinner?
It's fucking. It's Tuesday, right? Tacos, man.
No, today's actually Thursday. Still, man.
Yeah. I don't know what day it is. I'm still moving in. Shit's wild. Oh, I thought I heard my own voice. Nope, never again.
Are we missing someone in Discord? We have 19 in right now, right? I don't care.
Yeah, we have
It's
19.
break time. It's something we have to. I have to make sure that they join us before the next pool.
I think it's Umi.
Fucking Umi, dude. Umi's over here jerking off in fucking La La Land. Oh my god, dude.
Ah. It's like, oh, let's type it in. Comes up French. Shit, what'd you have it with though? Anything fancy? Lots of butter.
Eating French
Maple syrup and
toast,
butter.
loser.
French toast is
Shut
so
the
easy to
fuck
make
up.
too.
I gotta do a little French toast though. Now, hear me out and try this. I don't know, Bagel, if you remember this, but our grandfather made French toast, but he put American cheese in between two slices of French toast.
What the?
It actually went crazy.
That is fucking amazing.
I mean, I can see it, but no, you gotta put a little. No. When you make the sal, you gotta put a little bit of spice. Little bit of vanilla, a little bit of spiced rum. Captain
see,
Morgan does good.
We were fucking eating that when we were like, well, I was like 6.
Cook
or
it.
10, like, no, that's just gross to it. It's like a 10-year-old, dude.
You cook it and you
Yeah,
don't
speak for
taste it.
yourself. I've been an alcoholic since day one.
I was about to say you don't taste it when it's cooked. The
Yeah.
fuck?
I'm not putting in a quarter of a cup. It's a dash. It's for flavor.
Entire bottle.
Damn right. Entire bottle, 1 egg.
I like that shit.
Entire bottle of Fireball in your French toast.
Oh,
That'll put
shit.
some cinnamon flavor in your French toast. All right.
Shit.
Stops being toast after a certain amount.
Soggy.
Nah, dude, it's flavoring, okay? Shit, man.
This
Fucking
is flavor.
Soggy Fireball.
There you go.
Fireball bread. There we go. Okay.
That's
okay.
when you bake it in the oven and call it a ginger snap. Because there's so much cinnamon.
No, then we call it adequate.
Stop. Yeah, bang.
Shit.
Puppy.
Okay.
Getting toasted.
What?
Who's not here? Raise your hand if you're not here.
My hands in the air.
The back.
Yeah, this is a checklist here.
I just noticed that I didn't have enchant on.
Oh, good. You want us to summon you? Yeah, let's get a portal up. Harry, did you want to do a couple shoutouts for what we saw during the break?
Yeah, so we're gonna focus on the positives. We're doing pretty decent, guys, but we're gonna give a couple shoutouts to people who have been doing fucking fantastic. Zalt plays like, I get that he's playing melee right now, but that man has to run out to the fucking bumfuck nowhere to make sure beams have been done correctly. Chroma DPS fucking sucks, asshole. However, this man has lived through every fucking mechanic. He has had very few instances of actually dying, so everyone can take a bite out of his book in terms of just pure survival. Because remember, a dead DPS does no DPS.
Your DPS sucks, but you're doing great. Good job.
I was about to say that pull before the last pull, this man's had breath and beam on him at the same time. I saw him fucking live through that shit. I was like, hey, yo.
I've seen Grim has definitely had his moments of dragging beams through shit. However, 90% of the time, he has definitely gone like the hard way around to make sure things are done.
Like,
and then
there's definitely
lastly,
a couple instances where Grim has caused some damage with the puddles, but that's usually because he's doing the hard work. So
and then lastly, I want to talk about Devoid doing this exact same thing. This man has definitely gone to bumfuck nowhere to make sure he, get hit by
on the
actual
Death
shit.
Knight.
Yeah, can
On the
confirm.
Death Knight. But
So-
guys,
Here, let me just.
the reason why the beams are the cause for those beams are so important, guys, is every time you drag a beam, one time you drag it through another beam, it's 150,000 damage to the entire raid group. If you drag it through two beams, that's 300,000 damage that you just did to the entire raid group. So I'm going to go through what I was saying earlier. Your DPS does not matter. We can have the entire raid group doing 50,000 DPS. Please don't be that low. We can have the entire raid group doing 50,000 DPS and still kill the boss as long as we're doing the mechanics correctly. But if you're doing 150,000 DPS, but you decide to get greedy and you wipe the group because you wanted that one puddle, and you wipe the group, your DPS doesn't matter.
And don't forget that just because, like, for example, sure, maybe you are right in front of, like, number 5, and let's say there's 6 portals, and, 5 is the easiest one for you to get to, but then but there might be a situation where all the other lasers are to your left, right? And so in that situation, even though 5 is right in front of you, the play is still to go to 6, right? Or else that means, someone from bumfuck nowhere has to make that really difficult trek all the way over to the other side to make sure that we have the one on the very edge. And that difference of situational awareness is absolutely everything, because, just because you get a laser and hey, there's a portal, there's a rift right next to me, I'm just gonna walk past that and clear it. Like, and I know for each individual person, sometimes, okay, my job is done, but one person being greedy with that is making someone else's job way more difficult. And the reason why we're able to shout out individual people is because other people have messed up, which has forced them to step up, right? So in ideal world, we don't have to shout everyone out, even though we absolutely want to and want to point out people that have done really well, but that's usually because someone else has been greedy or messed up. And in a perfect world, everyone is amazing, but those mistakes will absolutely happen. So I just want to reiterate that communication is really important here. If you messed up, that's okay, but call out if defenses need to go out. Call out if for whatever reason you have to get this puddle right here. Any little belt's gonna help with this pull. If we get everyone up and we complete that pivot perfectly, he's consistently getting to about 25-30% HP, but usually at that point we have 3 or 4 dead. If everyone's up at that point, we can just push and he's absolutely dead. So we have like the first 2/3 of the fight absolutely down. Things start breaking down towards that point, but as things get more hectic, that's when you have to be on. That's when you have to be making those calls, because any mistake up to that point means a healer cooldown is being used. So as long as we can get to that point with everyone up, maybe even a B-res, we've got this kill. But yeah, Yeah, thanks for shouting out the people that made the life easier for everyone. Let's get more pulls in. Okay, on the tanks whenever. Just one more reminder. In general, we do want melee to the
5,
left
4,
and range to the
3,
right.
2, 1.
And please be wary about your positioning during that pivot. Here comes the first set of rifts. We're gonna have a pushback in about 3. Spread these out. Knockback here. Lasers in about 5. Here come the lasers. Those look good. Watch your frontal, watch your frontal. New set of rifts in about 5. Rift coming out now. Watch your swirlies first, and then rifts. Here come the rifts. Push back in about 2. Push back now. Lasers in about 3. These rifts are really good.
X-Sword.
Breath. Huge bait. Pop a defensive here. Okay. New set of rifts.
Salts 3.
I got 1.
I'll get 2.
Knock back here. We're pivoting after these lasers. If you don't have a laser, feel free to pivot early. Tanks can start moving the boss.
Fancy on 1.
Breath in 3.
Someone go 2. Someone go 2.
Watch
Someone
the
go 2.
swirlies,
Someone
pop a
go 2.
defensive.
Someone go 2.
Breath in
Alright, what-
3.
Hey, Jimmy, you need to run to the front of the boss. Front of the boss. Front of the boss.
Dread rifts in 3. Make sure we have someone getting to 1 and 2.
Careful, do not drop that pedal.
Comes on 1.
Jimmy, keep running. Jimmy, keep running.
We have lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now.
I have 3. I have
Reward
4.
on 1.
Breath in about 3. Watch your health. Frontal here. New set of rifts in about 3. We have 1 a little bit further out, so be careful with these rift positionings. Just work around that. It's okay if they overlap a little bit. We have lasers in about 3.
Defensives here. We're about to hit the 40% mark.
After these rays of anguish, you're gonna have to pop a defensive.
5.
Mage.
Defensive?
Or...
We have a breath in about 5. Can you pick up fancy, frontal?
No, we need Jimmy up.
Bring him heal.
Get Jimmy up, get Jimmy up, sorry.
Yep, you're fine.
Good call. Knockback here. Oh, no.
X1.
We have lasers coming out now. It's a bit of a mess. Just do your
XS,
absolute
take
best
1.
there. I'm taking 2. Watch your health here, guys. Watch your health. Breath in about 3.
Wait, I get my health bot off.
Use the backside of the room against the other wall, guys. Like where Tirade is. Look where Tirade's jumping
Pivot.
right now. I'm not DPSing. Look where Tirade's jumping.
T-Dog go with the group.
Push back here.
Right here, back this back wall. Yeah.
Lasers. One is to the far left.
Salts to
1 to
three.
2.
Watch your health. Watch your health.
Round's going far.
Pyramid zoom.
Fuck. I couldn't curve it.
We have a breath in about 3. Let's just see how low we can get this guy. This is definitely the best pull so far. New set of rifts.
We have a B-res up. Get a healer.
Lasers coming out right after this.
The way going to 1.
Okay, wipe it up here.
Guys, I saw two more greediness that got people killed. Pay attention to what's going on around you.
I mean, right there too, Tirade. I was on your left, you were on the right. You crossed over to the left for some reason, and when there was
Yeah,
right there.
that was a.
I know it was
a
kind of
fucking at the
panicky
end.
area. I understand, but
But I'm talking about like earlier on.
Early,
like,
yeah.
When we lost like 4 people, it was because one person got greedy, and took the one that somebody else was literally like walking to, and there was another another puddle to their right that no one else went to.
Right, one of the hunters killed me. They took the portal for melee, and I couldn't go anywhere, so I just killed myself instead of wiping the raid.
Yeah, small things like that.
Hal, I was going for that second one and you gripped me, man.
Yeah, I gripped you because another person was literally there too at the same time.
No, I know, and I was just gonna do a little circle for a second and then go back for that other one because I saw where they were going. And when you gripped me, I was like, oh.
It's a position neither of us should have ever had to be in because again that was the greediness that got people killed.
Yeah, and just watch the rift placement. After the pivot, we had one situation where I think it was 3 or 4. It was way further in front than the others. That really messes, and every single set after that was really messy. So just that's how important it is for every single line to be as straight as we can. That's what caused us to pivot really early, which was a great call by Tirade. But ideally, we don't even have to do that because we have so much room in front of us. It should be fine. So it's obviously a fine balance between leaving space behind, but we can't have one way up further ahead. It messes every single set after that.
Can we move Skull, X, and Square kind of like back where we're standing so the first rifts aren't so far up?
When we're setting rifts, if you're on the outside and you see 3 people on the inside squished together, move outward so we can make space in between. That way, you know, they're not stacked on top of each other.
Is this where to pull? On tags.
Honestly, I keep thinking that's me, just passive.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Pulling back. Lust. Yep. There's the first set of refs. Push back in about 2. Lasers coming out in 3. Now. Frontal, sorry. Frontal. Good job with those lasers, that was kind of rough. New set of rifts in 2. It's coming out now. We push back after these. Push back now. Lasers in about 4. Lasers now.
X3.
2.
Breath coming out. Watch your frontal here. New set of riffs. This will be the last one before we pivot. I got 1.
X3. Or 4. Last one.
Wait for the lasers here. If you don't have the laser, feel free to pivot. Thanks, you can start moving it now.
Alright, that's 4.
Fancy on one.
Breath.
Pop defense.
Frontal. Pop defensive here. Next set of rifts. Make sure we have 1 and 2. That's at moon and triangle. Swirlies first. Rifts after. In about 5. I got 1.
X4 or 5.
Dag nabbit, homie.
I know, right? Lasers coming out.
Alright, that's 4.
1.
We have breath in about 3 seconds. Breath coming out now.
Coming through melee, watch out. Strom.
New riffs. We have a knockback in 2. Lasers in 3. I've got 2. Watch your health here, guys. Watch your health. Breath in about 3. Frontal. Can we get Zolts up?
We still have
Rift.
a minute on.
Straight line, guys.
Wait,
Straight line. Lasers. I've got 1.
Fuck. Sorry, I took a bad one.
Pop a
Sorry, guys.
defensive, pop a defensive, pop a defensive. Frontal, frontal, frontal. Rips in about 3. Focus up. Knockback here, knockback. Lasers coming out now.
Are we doing a pivot now?
No, we're gonna keep going.
You need higher back of the room, guys.
Breath in 2.
Good pivot, Fizz, by the way.
No pivot.
Sorry, I meant good portal.
Okay. Knockback.
I got the. Okay, good.
Lasers.
Get
Picked up
Shram
your
up.
res.
Get Shram up. Nope.
I have 1.
Ron's decline it. Ron's decline it. Get Shram up now.
Decline.
Breath. Drop riffs at anywhere at this point. Just keep the boss in one place and drop riffs around it. Lasers.
Walk boss backwards a bit. So you
Yeah,
guys have
walk
room.
boss backwards.
I'm
Just drop the rifts anywhere. Lasers will be right after. Do what you can. Okay. Oh, that was close. Okay.
So was anyone just watching what Riley did? And this is good for everyone to know. And Riley, this is not your fault because you're a tank. You don't deal with that mechanic, right? But did anyone see Riley just running a circle right there?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
So
No.
Riley ran in a circle and he hit the beam into his own puddle. That still does damage to the group. So he did 350,000 damage to himself in a second and a half because he ran in a circle. Riley, that's not your fault. You don't. This is not your mechanic. You never should have to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just using you as the example because I was able to see it. So if you're gonna drag a beam through something, don't run out of it afterwards. Just run through it and get it over with. But overall, that was significantly cleaner. Just clean it up and we'll be fine.
Yep, 2 more DPS up during that last little final stand that we had, and that's a kill, so you guys know what to do.
What Deep Throb just said. The Infernal Infusion damage is literally the beam.
It's the beam hitting something.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Not
beam
just the beam.
hitting the beam hitting a puddle, or not
Sorry.
a puddle, but like a.
The mythic mechanic.
I'm
Yeah.
being a little pedantic there. Sorry, Tira.
No, you're being cute. It's fine.
Can I
But
get
yeah,
some
just-
rocks?
Lock rocks, please.
I got yeeted off the platform to my death. I didn't get to see any of
I
the
saw
last
that
Oh, was
happen to
that you?
somebody.
I was gonna say I saw a body fly, but I didn't know who it was.
I
So
don't
if
even
you
know
could
how
call
I got
it, we
yeeted
got
that
2
far.
priests. We can rip it
Yeah,
back.
it was extra.
No, there was no saving me. I literally got yeeted. I had the puddle on me too, so I was taking ticking damage from that. By the way, even if you're full health, if you're taking ticking damage from the puddle, and you get knocked in the lava, it's death.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know.
The
Instant death.
the overlap of the puddles and the knockback, that's completely random based on whenever we phase into one of those swirly phases. So every time's gonna be different. But once you see those line up, it's likely until the next 20% health, which is when the next swirly thing happens. It's always gonna be knockback and puddle kind of around the same time. So be wary of that. If those are lining up, give it a little bit more space so when you get knocked back, you're not going into lava, you're not going into other pools. Clean that up and we have this kill. Okay, this is for the... Yeah, it looks like we're getting a second pot if, especially if we get in our situation where it's like a last stand and we have a couple DPS at the end, that second battle pot might be up. Feel free for someone to call that out if they see that. Okay, on to tanks.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First rifts are in 3. Now. I got 1. Lasers are in 5. Lasers coming out now.
1.
Frontal. Frontal. New set of rifts in 5. Swirlies first. Rifts in 3. Now.
The white got 3.
Push back right after. Push back here. Lasers in 5. Breath in about 5. Breath coming out now. Watch your frontal. Try and make your way over to 1 over here. This next set of rifts will be the last one before the pivot. I've got 3. Knock back here. Last set of lasers before the pivot.
Chroma 4.
1.
Breath coming out now. Watch your frontal here. No. Will be breath after these swirlies. Perfect time to reposition. Frontal. Rifts in about 3. Get these out. Faster. Okay. Lasers in about 5. Lasers coming out now. I've got 2.
1.
Breath coming out right after. Breath now. Make sure you get back in position for rifts. I got 1.
2.
Push back, push back. Get ready to pop a defensive soon. We have lasers. After these lasers, get ready to pop a defensive.
1.
Now. Watch your health here. Watch your health here. We have a breath in about 5. Frontal. New rifts. We're gonna have a pushback in 2. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Pushback. Watch your health here. Watch your health here. Okay, lasers in about 3. 1 is all the way in the back. Be careful, you have a laser. Okay. Figure it out. Here comes a breath. Frontal, frontal. This is the last set
Coming
of
along the
rifts in this line. Get Jimmy up once he dies. It's the last set of lasers before we kind of freestyle it. Watch your health, watch your health. Get another healer up. Breath here, frontal. Now move the boss to the middle a little bit. Now just drop rifts around him. Just use the entire space.
Still got a res. Someone get up.
Get a healer out.
Oh, never mind. 20 seconds. I got res in array.
Watch out.
Breath in about 3. Breath now.
Pots are up, pots are up.
Rifts coming out. There's a good chance that tanks are getting mechanics now. Be careful. Knockback. Knockback here. Lasers. Do your absolute best here to just be careful. I'm okay if you run around. We have breath in about 5. Breath now. Rifts. Lasers will be right after. At this point, everyone should be getting a laser, so run into your own rift.
Make
Next
sure to pod
mechanic
if
will
you have
be
it.
pod is up. Breath in 2. Frontal. Rift will be right after. Rift and then pushback. Just to make sure you're not getting pushed off the platform. Rifts. Here comes the pushback. Remember, you're dragging your laser into your own puddle here. Perfect. Breath in 5. Okay. Really good effort, guys. It's another case of 1 or 2 more DPS up for that last little bit, and that guy's down.
So it was a really good effort, guys, but you gotta be very careful about, like, that got dirty because people are getting greedy again. I literally watched somebody walk into my puddle, and then I, as a caster, had to go from where blue is all the way where moon is. Because I literally watched somebody on his tail run all the way to mine, take mine, so I had to run across. Watch where the what's it called are. But besides that, that was a really good pull. Let's just start against the next one.
Yeah, I'm really liking that we're getting to a point where we're consistently getting him to about 20% health before shit hits the fan, but that's when we absolutely need to focus up.
Yeah, tanks. When I was also talking about pulling to clear the other side of the room, I'm literally talking about where I'm jumping now. Like, when we get to that point where we're in this little corner, don't worry about trying to keep its height. Bring him over here so we have space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be the strat. Once we get to about where diamond is for puddles, we're going to move the boss to the center of the room and start putting puddles around them. So try and spread out evenly. That way we can still keep the lasers spread out. But just that'll be the next call after we get to about diamond with the puddles. When we pivot to having like 5 or 6, can we stagger them like checker squares? Yeah. So getting them in a line is obviously really important. But if we have a situation where there are absolutely no way for people to get around them, people are going to take a lot of damage from those rifts. So it's almost best to not make it a perfect line, if that makes sense. But I'd rather us err on the side of just having to pop a defensive to walk through to get the laser than losing space, because the longer we can delay having to go freestyle at the very end, that's when we saw a lot of people dying. So
there's plenty of space when we get 6 to spread them out across the line. Just the outside has to move pretty fast. They got to have spatial awareness of what the inside looks like.
Yeah. Remember, once we get to about like here, people at 5 and 6 can move all the way to the edge over here. As long as it's reasonable distance for range to clear their lasers, I'm fine with you guys spreading out.
Even if it's a ridiculous range, like an incredible distance, again, I'll say it a billion times because I saw it again this last pull. I don't care what your DPS is. If your DPS is higher, but you're messing up mechanics and killing the group, you're not doing anything for us because we're not going to kill the boss. Take the time to run over.
Okay, thanks. Feel free to call it pull timer once everyone's ready.
Just wait on Gremlin where we set.
Okay.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First wrists are in 3, Knockback. That number 3 has to be closer to the edge. Be careful there. Lasers in 3.
X3.
Breath in 2. Watch the frontal here. New set of rifts in 3. Now. Watch the swirlies here. We have a pushback in about 3. Now. Next will be lasers in about 5. Lasers coming now.
Turret has 3.
Someone has to run all the way to 1. Be careful. Front.
Ron, go to the front of the boss. Front of the boss.
Oh, fuck me.
This way.
New rifts. I got 1.
Do not put Roth on the line. Do not put Roth on the line. Oh god. Guys, gotta pay attention.
Lasers coming in 5. Someone needs to get the one in the back. And then we're gonna be pivoting if you don't get a laser.
I got the one in the back.
Okay, I've got 1 then. Pivot here, guys.
No,
Breath,
hey, Shram to the front.
New dread rifts after these swirlies. Watch your health here. These new rifts. Make sure they're getting to 1 with moon. Get to 1 with moon. Get to 1.
Oh, got a moon.
Okay, these lasers are gonna be weird. Figure it out. But the next set of rifts have to be in that pivoted position.
Grim has the back one.
We're gonna have a breath in 2. These next rifts have to be in front of moon. Just be careful of that one puddle over there. But just kind of in line with that, yeah. Someone get a 1. Someone get a 1. There you go. Watch your health here. Lasers are coming out. Soon after the lasers, we're gonna get the swirlies, so this is where to pop a defensive.
3.
Defensives.
Rally going.
Good call.
Well, I gotta go to bumfuck New Mexico. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Frontal. You set a rifts in 2.
I got one over here, Beagle.
Lasers in about 5. Watch your health. After these lasers, we're moving boss. Oh, no, we're doing one more set of rifts. We're doing one more set of rifts before moving the boss to the middle.
My raid is gonna be working my way around. Just be careful of the beam.
Frontal. Last set of rifts.
I haven't died for it. Go ahead and get Deep Throw up.
Line.
Do not wait, just get him up. I don't care who does it.
Lasers. Now boss to the middle.
We have another B-res in 5 seconds.
We're gonna hold it.
Careful, laser going through boss.
Yeah, it's a wipe.
Stop getting greedy with the beams, guys. There is no reason for a range to have taken a ranged or to have taken a melee portal when there was a ranged one available and make Devoid run the entire route around the boss.
No, that was a perfect pull up until Yeah, we have basically everyone alive until the very end. We just need to make sure that transition going from the last couple of lines before we get to that diamond needs to be clean. Get your feast, get another pull. Okay. You good, Devoid?
I'm glad I had prepared myself before that run. I was just waiting. I kind of felt like that was gonna happen.
I'm ready, by the way.
Okay, I'll do one more ready check in this for the pull. Okay, on the tanks.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lust. First set of rifts in 3. Devoid, 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 devoid. The next set of rifts will have to be in line with that one further up ahead. Just work around it.
Jack gets a 4.
Lasers.
Come on, 3.
Frontal. New rifts coming out in 3. Get Riley up, get Riley up. Work around the one. Push back here. Lasers in 2.
Three.
Frontal. Now. Okay, wipe it up.
Did people not have their alerts on?
Okay, we're about to deal with this. If you are consistently messing up a mechanic and you do not understand what's going on, whisper tirade. You're not going to be called out, but whisper tirade so I know where the mistakes are, so I can start further explaining what's going on. But if you need to be self-aware of that you're messing up, and we need to see who can do it.
No, that was honestly a
That was just a scuff pull overall.
yeah, that was an outlier pull. I don't think it's
this is overall. We're 3 hours into the first boss of the raid on Mythic. It's time for people to know that they're messing up. And we need to make sure that we know people know where their mistakes are.
This is Lux. Feel free to call me out if you see me fucking up.
We're not gonna call anyone out by name. That's why I want people to message me. That way, it's anonymous. Well, obviously not anonymous to me because I see who it is. But that way
I
can
got you,
see
bro.
where the mistakes are.
But I don't have a thin skin. If I'm fucking up, I want to know I'm fucking up.
No.
So please call me out.
Nope, it's not you.
Yeah,
Sheesh,
we'll
suck his dick or something.
No.
Okay, once Jimmy's over here, Salts, you good?
Sorry.
No, you're good. Awesome. Okay, on the tanks then.
Five, four, three, two, one.
First set of wrist in 2. Some get to 1. That's much better. Knock back here. Lasers in about 5. Now. Breath in about 2.
I have 1.
Watch your frontal here. Watch your frontal here. Wrist in about 2. It'll be swirlies first. But wrist will be right after. Get those wrists in line.
X3. Power. 4.
Knock back right after. Here come the lasers. We'll have one more set of wrists after this one. And then the pivot.
Alright, dragon all the way to 1.
Frontal. We're gonna need to get Jimmy up right after he's dead. Dread rifts. These are the last one before the pivot. Get in a line, get in a line. If you don't get a laser, feel free to pivot early.
Going for the back one.
Frontal in 2. Frontal will be after these swirlies. Make sure you're in position. We have rifts in 5 after this. Make sure, especially melee, that you're able to get to 1 and 2. Push back right after. Push back here. Lasers in about 3. Lasers now.
Tirade is gonna get. Oh, okay, I got back. Someone else got the middle one.
Breath.
That's fine.
Frontal. Now. Dread rifts. Make sure you're back in position. We need people at 1 and 2. We need people at 1 and
Who's
2.
on 1?
Good recovery. Good shit. Lasers coming out. After these lasers, it's going to be swirlies, so watch your health here. Get ready your defenses.
I'll get 1.
I've got 2. Defensives.
Rally up.
Frontal in about 3. Frontal. Red rift right after. I got 1.
2.
Spread them out, guys. Spread them out.
Lasers right after. 1 is pretty far away. 6 is pretty far away. Be careful.
That's far.
I got 2.
Next set will be the last one that we're doing in a line. Frontal, frontal.
We're gonna get a ton of beams, guys. Be very careful and just watch what's going on.
Rifts. Get these in a line. Someone get to 1 and 2.
Okay, go on.
Be really careful with your lasers here. Free spread, free spread.
I'm gonna immune mine.
Fuck.
It doesn't mean it doesn't
Yeah,
mean
it's a wipe. It's a wipe.
Just to walk through
Alright,
everything.
alright. I mean, mine went through yours and I didn't want it to.
You say to walk through everything, but remember when you immune to walk through it, it blows up still. It
Yep.
hits the raid. It's not. It doesn't hit you. It hits the raid.
The second that laser touches a puddle, whether you're immune or not, it's gonna do the raid-wide damage.
So here's the other issue, right? Let's say we have the first three.
Connectors.
We have the first 3 that go down, right? If let's say person number 1 dies, right? Person number 1 dies, and so we'll have that 1 left over. That means we'll have 4 rifts if we only get 3 the next time. Every single rift that is still open does the beams. We cannot have people dying to easy mechanics because that causes an insane amount of rifts or beams for no reason.
Do we? Does that is that DH still available?
So I have a quick question. In that scenario, I had puddles that were already used, puddles that weren't used, and then another layer of puddles that were used. And then on the left and the right, like how do I get to that in that scenario? Like I'm gonna do raid damage, right?
You gotta finagle it. If you are like, so look where see where Tirade is, and do you see where Fancy is? Fancy can jump for me. See where we are? The beam will come straight to where I am from Fancy. However, if you're where Tirade is now, and you can finagle it like this, like dragging it slowly, it comes straight to you. So you can't literally just fucking be across the room and expect it to get to you without going through anything. You gotta, you have to angle it.
And if you know that you're gonna have to run it over a puddle, make it just 1 puddle. Try and find the most direct way to minimize the number of puddles it hits. That's gonna minimize the damage. It's touching a new puddle, which is what's gonna cause extra ticks of damage. So if you can minimize it to just 1 tick, that's fine. And that would also be a call to just say in comms, hey, pop a defensive.
Like, our healers can heal 150,000 damage. Not a single person here will really die to that, right? But when you make it from 150 to 300,000, it adds an entire new level of healing required.
Yeah, also, we had 1 person die to frontal and 1 person die to just, not knowing they had beam, so we should not do that.
Yep.
I died to frontal
told you I was
because
tough.
I died to frontal because I thought I had beam because the beam spawned on me. Then I realized I didn't, so I pivoted out of the beam and into the frontal. Should have just taken the beam instead.
You'll die to frontal a lot faster than you'll die to beam. Just be very careful, guys.
We're gonna run it as 19. In the meantime, would you mind reaching out to DHC if he's still available? If not, then
we have 14 minutes.
Yeah, we'll do 2 polls from here and probably call it there. Okay, on to tanks. This is still killable as 19, by the way, if we keep it clean.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First rest in 3. Make sure you're able to get that corner. Those are perfect. Knock back here. Lasers will be in about 5. Now, breath will be right after.
The wood on one.
Last line.
Frontal, frontal, frontal. New rifts will come out.
Oh, I stole aggro back.
Yeah, really.
Get him up, get him up, get him up. Pushback will be right after here. Scratch that. It's going to be swirlies first. Knockback will be right after swirlies. Pushback in 2. Now. Lasers in 3.
Alright, that's 2. Sorry, got 2.
Got 1. Frontal, frontal, frontal.
Please listen to the call out, Shock. I literally called out that I was going to 2 and you just kept running with me.
Here come the rifts. Got 2. Push back here. Push back right after. Lasers in 2.
3.
Yeah,
I got
1.
3.
Watch the swirlies here. Pop a defensive if you need to. Frontal, frontal, frontal. Here come the swirlies after these rifts. We had 1 way in front. It's okay, we'll work around it. Push back here. Just be careful with these lasers. After these lasers, we're doing the pivot. If you don't have a laser, feel free to pivot early.
Sorry, I got 4.
X will take the hard one.
Sorry, that's 4.
Pivot.
Or not, I guess I won't take 4.
Breath here. Frontal. New rifts. Make sure you're getting to 1 and 2 moon.
X will have 5.
Lasers in about 5. Come to lasers.
X4.
I got 2.
Breath in about 3. Frontal, frontal. Watch the swirlies here.
We're down a tank and 2 healers.
Okay, yeah, wipe it up. We're gonna do 1 last pull after this. But yeah, these mistakes, one way or another, need to get ironed out. We're probably going to message 1 or 2 people that we feel like might need the most help between now and tomorrow. Don't take it as, you know, you're doing awfully, we don't want you on the team. It's just...
Yo, if I'm already in my stride, you can't call 2 and I'm already in my stride to 2. I left 3 and you're gonna call me out for that? Take goddamn 3, dude. I'm already ahead of you.
Call it out. No, we were the same route. Listen,
You know,
man, we were the same route, and I called out 3 times that I was doing it.
Bullshit. That's fucked up. I'm not calling out as it is. That's fucked up. Because I'm ahead of you. You're calling something out, and I'm supposed to do what? Double back and cross the beam
I
again?
was making it easier for. Hey, Shock. I was making it easier for you because I was in the farther
you're
one.
not calling anybody out, but you just did in the fucking raid. That's fucked up.
Hey, do you want to sit by and watch the VOD after the raid? I'll sit by with you and I'll show you what happened twice, 2 times in a row. Actually, that pool.
Look, the fact of the matter is, one person called it, one person didn't. Like, the person who didn't call it needs to figure it the fuck out.
Communicate.
Yeah, if if you know you're getting to a puddle and you want that puddle, it's on you to communicate. Like I understand there are going to be scenarios where someone who the optimal route might not get the one that they think is optimal. That shit's going to happen a lot during this fight and future fights. But no one's going to know that that is the best puddle for you if you don't communicate. And you know, it's not about pointing fingers. It's about making sure the group gets through this fight clean and making sure the mistakes don't pile out. Because one mistake from one person is someone else working harder, and that's okay because everyone's gonna make mistakes and that's fine. But if it's the same couple of people making mistakes a bunch, then it's a case of us finding out why and fixing it, right? And sometimes that's communication, sometimes it's awareness. This is mythic rating. It's not a walk in the park. A lot of us are really, really good players, but this is just another level. And those bad habits from normal and heroic, the consequences are way higher here. So it's going to take some time to get used to. We have quite a few new people in the raid. Some people, you know, whether you're a returning player from before or a new player, are going to struggle equally. And we're just going to figure it out together, guys. But yeah, this will be the last poll. We might reach out to one or two people just to, you know, have a chat and try and figure out where the issues are. I know Bagel has a VOD, has a stream going, so if you know that you're someone that is struggling with a specific part of the fight, feel free to reach out to Tirade, myself, Bagel. All of us will be happy to walk through, hey, maybe here you could have done this instead of this. It's not us pointing out that someone's not doing well, but we really, really do appreciate people taking the initiative to be like, hey, I'm having trouble here. How can I be better? And it's going to take that little bit of bravery and being able to admit where something is difficult to be able to move forward. And so, you know, I want to shout out the people that have been able to communicate that they've been struggling with specific parts, even throughout the fight, owning up to, hey, sorry, that was my bad. That's only going to move us forward. So let's get this last pull. Let's make it a good one. As I said, even at 19, we can still kill this guy with a really clean pull. So
Might be cat
is it that spider toy?
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, first person 2. Make sure we're getting all the way back to that skull and X. Good job.
Alright,
Push back right here. First set of lasers in about 3. Someone needs to get to 1. Good job, frontal, 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 frontal. Okay, good job figuring that out. Wrist coming in 2.
Good job.
We're gonna have a pushback in about 5. Here. And the lasers.
X3.
Grim's going in the middle.
Breath. Watch out the frontal here. Okay, good angle. Another set of rifts. This will be the 3rd one. So the one after these next set of lasers, I got
Alright, that's
1.
4.
After these next set of lasers, we're gonna pivot. Knock back. Good come to lasers. If you don't get targeted, feel free to pivot early.
Fancy on one.
Watch your health here. Frontal, frontal, frontal. Make sure you're pivoting. Next bursts are in about 3. Make sure we're able to get to 1 and 2 over here. Push back right after. Lasers. Coming out now.
Sorry, got 4.
1.
Breath and 2. Frontal, that's good angle. New rift coming out.
I got
1. We need to move the boss forward a bit.
Yeah. After these lasers, we're gonna get
X5.
swirlies. Watch your health here.
2. Fancy 2.
I got 1.
Can you get 3? 4?
Watch your health here. Watch your health here. Good job adjusting to that.
Remember to use space that we
Frontal,
have, guys.
frontal, frontal. Next rifts will be right after.
Alright, that's 5.
Spread this out, spread it out. Lasers. Now.
Alright, sorry, it's 6.
I got 2. I'll play it. Actually, let me get one since.
Keep it clean.
Breath in 2. Watch your frontal here. We're gonna have one more set of wrists in a line, and then we're swapping to moving the boss to the middle. So tanks get ready after these next set
X5.
of- Okay, we have one to the edge, so be careful. Here come the lasers.
I'll take the edge.
I have 2. Oh shit, okay. I'll go somewhere else. You take it, you take it, you take it.
We
You
have,
take
one,
it.
we have like 3 up.
Frontal, frontal.
You can repot in 20 seconds.
Push back. Just place this around. Spread out so the lasers don't all spawn in one place.
I got
Alright, has like
3, 3.
2.
Take your
I don't know
time,
if
take your time, figure it out.
Pop defense, just pop defensive, stay alive, guys.
Can we B-res Devoid?
Rally if you can, Fancy.
It's
Frontal
down
here, frontal here. You have the whole back of the room to drop the next
shit.
set of rifts.
Can we get that right up?
Push back here. Get Tirade up, please. You have the whole room to drop rifts. Here come lasers.
Legit, just drag lasers, just don't kill us, and we kill the boss.
Good shit, everyone. What an amazing way to end the night.
Fucking hell yeah.
Good job, guys.
Good shit.
Fucking did it.
Bro, that strength polearm.
And no demon hunter.
No cloth.
who is
Literally
the,
nothing for clothies.
Who's the RC loot council? Because I think I disconnected, so I'm not lead anymore.
Oh shit.
Oh, there
I
we go.
don't
there
even
we go.
have it.
It just let me go through it with it. Good job on your first mythic kill, guys.
Yeah, it's only up from here.
That's what it takes to kill these mythic bosses.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna lie, that
Proud of you guys.
bronze hunter, that was badass maneuvering for that
Yeah, it
beam.
was.
That was a long run.
Damn. Right.
Okay. Yeah, good end to the day. Thank you for, especially the new recruits, for hopping straight into Mythic. We were even thinking about starting in Heroic, but I think a lot of you guys really impressed us with, you know, it doesn't matter where your eye level is at, because damage will come, but being able to knock out these mechanics out of the park from the get-go is, you know, a huge sign for us in deciding the trials, so, but yeah. Between now and, but yeah, between now and tomorrow, read up on the next two bosses. We're gonna do Assault first, and then Amalgamation Chamber. So those are two bosses to read up. Tanks especially. If you guys haven't done the swap bosses mechanic before on that Amalgamation fight, please read up on it and just have an idea of what we're gonna do. But yeah, Zakali should be a cakewalk after this. Amalgamation is the next thing. Even though this boss is down right now, and I know the next time we come up against it is going to be a lot easier, but please feel free to reach out for any questions, VOD review, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be more than willing to help out. Once again, one or two people might be messaged just to chat and to be a bit proactive on our side. But aside from that, good shit, everyone. Do we have
logs will be uploaded. I was logging. I just didn't upload. Like I didn't get the logs. You also go to Unfiltered's Warcraft logs page, and they are always put in there.
I uploaded the log.